Beats by Dallas, make it hurt.
Yeah, what is going on? What's going on tonight? Welcome to Big Time Show Postgame. As promised on like yesterday. I told you I'll come on today, and then of course I'll come on tomorrow, which is my regular time. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. But I had to come on tonight, post game show, just to get a vibe. I think I had enough time to settle down a little bit. And since I did, I'll go ahead and talk about it now. I'm quite sure all of you got something to say, and you will. Let me take this down yet. I'm going to do call in lines tonight, but do not call in right now. If you do call, I'm not going to answer because I ain't ready for it yet. I'm going to get my little say out the way, then I'm going to let you guys have at it. All right. Right now, I'm sharing. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm going to speak to everybody that's here, at least that have commented in just a second. We ain't too mad that we can't speak to each other. Game is over now. Baltimore Ravens will be on an airplane very shortly. And week 3, at least for us, is over. So, only thing left is to talk about it. Really, if you're coming on my show, all I want to know is, for those that watched yesterday, didn't I tell you? I'm not gonna say what was gonna happen, but if we don't do what we need to do, didn't I kind of say what was going to happen? The reason why is not because I'm great or it's not because I'm know it all or nothing. It's just when you have seen the movie so many times, you don't have to wonder what's gonna happen. You could just about predict it. That's all I did. I mean, we have a generation of these type of you know games. And I'll tell you about that because as soon as I say it, y'all gonna say, "Well, you right." I'm sharing right now. Forgive me, y'all. I'm about to speak in just a second, but I'm sharing. Forgive me. I'm just trying to get the crowd up a little bit and see what will happen. All I want to know is how frustrated are you? How are you shocked? Now, I ain't worried about frustration because a lot of you didn't think we were gonna win the game anyway. So losing is not surprise here. Even when we saw the schedule come out, a lot of you would be honest. This was one of these games we say, oh boy. Considering the weaknesses that we have, uh, this was one of these games that we said, oh boy, I don't know about this one. I might know about some other ones, but I know about. I think I know what's gonna happen on this game. Before I get going, let me speak. E. Kush in the building. What's up, bro? Jay Bryant, what's up? Mr. Arden, how you doing? Craig, how you doing, sir? Lee Harrison, what's going on? And these are the people that have spoken. So there's a lot of you just watching me. Okay. Hey to everybody's just watching. Okay. Um, let's go with yesterday. How many times have we seen this movie before? Teams jump on us, make the score look almost, like the game is over. Then Dak comes back. And y'all call it empty calorie yards. And then the Cowboys, it never fails. Team jumps on us bad, and we get this huge gap, and then Cowboys somewhat, come back, and then just when it's time to go to the next level and maybe jump ahead, Cowboys fall short. It make the score look respectable, but really the score that is shown really don't tell the story of the game. Today, the score definitely did not, at least for me. Maybe it did for you. But at least for me, it did not tell me what the game was really like. The bottom line to me is simple. We got our butts kicked. Remember what I've always said, since some of y'all have been with me for a while. Again, we either win spectacularly or we lose spectacularly. How many times do I have to say this? And they haven't proved me wrong yet. It's a spectacular loss, or the way it's not that we lost, it's how we look when we lose. That's the main thing with the Dallas Cowboys. If we lost a lot of games, 28-25, but we was really in the game, then my whole narrative would change. But I mean, it's a spectacular loss because we just got our butts whooped, man. Now let me go ahead and preface this. If you don't want the truth, if you're looking for a lot of optimism, and you don't want to really deal with the truth, I'm probably not your guy. I've been telling y'all that for a long time. With me, you're going to get the truth. With me, I'm going to tell you week by week, if we play great, I'm going to say we played great. And of course, if I say we look like trash, I'm going to call us trash. Today, trash. I told y'all yesterday that today's game was going to be a old school bring your lunch pail, buckle up your chin strap type of game. If you ain't ready for it, we are going to look horrible. I told you that yesterday. I told you. If you thought that the Saints ran up on us and we look bad against the Saints, I ain't just talking about by the score. I'm just talking about the way we played. I told you that if you think we look bad then, if we don't put a dent into Henry and Lamar Jackson from the get-go, it's going to be way worse. I rest my case. See, ladies and gentlemen, I told you guys yesterday again that I don't have to do a lot of X's and O's. I saw the film. I know where the weak spots are and not, like the cornerback over there. I told you that yesterday. I told you Humphrey was good, but the other cornerback, we can attack him. They did. I already saw all that. What I told you is, first things first, if you don't bring what I tell y'all yesterday, I told you, trying to be funny, but I was really telling you the truth. I told you, if you don't bring your lower region, brothers that's on here, forgive me, sisters that are on here, brothers, if you don't bring I'm trying to keep it clean, but if you don't bring your lower region to the game, you're going to get destroyed. Didn't I tell you? I told you yesterday, if you don't bring your lower region to the game, you're going to get punked out. This team here, the Baltimore Ravens, it wasn't no secret. It was no secret. Got punked out, y'all. That's just the bottom line. I don't care about the score. I don't care if we lost by 1 point. I already knew what was going to happen. See, everybody want to talk about, we almost came back. Ain't no more victories. Ain't no more victories. Of course you're going to come back when a team is playing safe. They didn't have the same game plan at the beginning of the game. They played off, everything open in the middle. Dak hit some stuff, on the second level in between the safeties and the linebackers. The end routes like the, Turpin and Tolbert, all that type of stuff. We when you're playing off, you're supposed to get the empty calorie yards. So I'm not Dak. The only thing Dak did not do today is he didn't throw a pick. I give him credit for that. He does what Dak does. Teams jump out on us. He always find a way to bring us back. But then when you bring us back, we just can't get over the hump. This is a typical Dallas Cowboy game. And I know we won 12-5 for the last 3 years, but when we lose, these are the type of games we always seem lose. Number one, the narrative continues. You're going to hear about it tomorrow, and it's justified. The Cowboys are going to get talked about bad this week, and they should. What is the narrative? I've been saying it. When we play physical teams, when we play teams that are considered a bully type team, the Dallas Cowboys do not win in the Mike McCarthy era. These are the teams that we always have major trouble with because we don't match their physicality. I don't know if it's in them, to be honest with you. We have a finesse type of approach. We have a finesse play caller in Mike McCarthy. And when you're going against a physical defense that get up on you and challenge your manhood and you trying to be finesse, it ain't going to work too often. Unless you just great at the finesse. You know what I'm saying? If you great at the finesse, then you can go get it. But we're not great at the finesse game. The Dallas Cowboys are not good enough to be one-dimensional. We're not. We can't just give Dak the ball and say, hey, throw it 50 times and take us home. We're not that good to do that. We're not that good. We don't have the weaponry on the team to do that. Dak had great numbers. He did. He had great numbers. He had 3 touchdowns total. 1 rushing, 2 touchdowns passing, 300 yards, all that stuff. He did all that today. But the true part within the game, we're not that great to be going back and forth, back and forth. We're not quick strike. We're a grinded out type team. We don't even throw the right routes to really just be talking about that. Most of our stuff is short, intermediate stuff. I saw some stuff that that Dak throws well. Dak throws that seam route to Ferguson pretty good. That's been seen for the last 2-3 years. The wide outs, can't really get it. All right. So let me get to that. So this is not a surprise to me. Because I kind of said it yesterday. If they didn't come out guns blazing, you don't have time to warm up, especially when your defense can't stop nothing. You had to. I'm sorry. This is for at least for the first. Well, I ain't gonna say for the first 3 weeks because they look good against Cleveland. These last 2 weeks, you got to jump on folks, and they just got jumped on. You see what I'm saying? You can't afford slow stuff. You can't do it. You can't do it. You just can't. So we know this team, and what I'm seeing is the same movie. That's all I'm saying, over and over and over and over again. Defense can't stop nothing. Mike McCarthy is not a bullish type play caller. He does not call plays that'll give your team a chance to be physical. They get jumped on in a big way, and then the lead is too big to make to get over the hump. When we get blowed out, we get blowed out, and then the hole is just too deep. Sure, we can make the score look respectable. Sure, we can get close. We can do that like they did today. But it just rarely happens for us. I done seen this movie too many times. That's why I can't get. I'm week to week. I'm already telling. Look, I'm gonna go on record right now. I told y'all I don't make predictions, but let me go ahead and make a prediction now. I'll do this. Somebody say who we playing this week? We play Thursday night, right? In New York, all right, against the Giants. I'm going to make a prediction now. We will beat the Giants. Why? Because Dak Prescott owns the NFC East, number one. I don't care who. The Giants, no. We never had a problem with Daniel Jones. I understand he got that rookie wide receiver, Neighbors. I understand the defense just a little bit better than it were last year. I give you that. Singletary is there now as their running back. Daniel Jones still at quarterback. We eat Daniel Jones lunch for lunch. That's a team we always see. This is what the national media is gonna say. They're playing the Giants, whatever the road, whatever the case may be. But these are the teams that are considered lower tier teams, and that's what the Dallas Cowboys just eat. They eat up teams like this. But when they go against the real physical teams or the real playoff teams, we don't win. See, so the Giants, to me, I didn't care if the Giants were 3-0. We're going to beat the Giants. That's your thing. I ain't got to go with it. You know what I'm saying? I already know. I'm already saying it. We're going to beat the Giants. We are. So I'll go with that. That's really not my issue. What did I tell y'all since the start? I told y'all, when you look at the schedule in these first 8 weeks, with the bye week for us being in week 7, I looked at it. All you got to do is look at it. I can tell you what's going to happen almost. So far, my prediction, even though I didn't tell y'all what my prediction was, I will say this, after week 3, my predictions have been right, except in the game. My record prediction is right. I thought that we would lose to Cleveland. I thought that we would beat the Saints. And then I said we're going to have a rough time with Baltimore. 1-2. So I'm not surprised they were there. Just I didn't think we would play that great against Cleveland, and we did. I thought we would beat the Saints at home. It actually turned total opposite. So I'm right on target with my prediction right now as far as that goes. I'm stepping out on it and just say we're going to beat the Giants. But when you look at this schedule, y'all, this is why I've been telling y'all. Let me just go ahead and tell you, because of the way the Cowboys look, they look like they came, like it was a continuation of the game against the Saints starting off. What is the narrative going to be? The narrative this week is going to be that Mike McCarthy does not have his guys ready to play. Okay? That's what they're going to say. They're going to say they're just not ready to play. That's a knock against the head coach. That's the knock against the head coach. This is what you're going to hear this week. Okay, they're not ready to play. When you look at this schedule, and you now see that we can't stop the run. Okay? We can't stop the run, obviously. And I'll get into that in a second, but I really don't have to get into it. Y'all know what the stats say. When you look at it and you see how we play, then you tell me. Okay, we got the Giants. Then we go to Pittsburgh. And if y'all think, I don't care if Justin Fields is starting or if Russell Wilson come back and make no difference, they're a physical ball club. Physical ball club. That's what they are. Physical. Another beat you up type team. That's what we struggle with. We don't match physicality. And right after that, after the Giants and then after the Steelers, the Detroit Lions come to Dallas. A physical ball team. Punch you in your mouth, and if you don't step up and hit them in their mouth, you're going to get destroyed. That's 3 games in a row. And I'm not trying to knock the Giants. The Giants' defense is going to be good. I'm talking about physical teams. Then guess what? The bye week. We're going to need it after that. And then we go to San Francisco. I don't have to tell y'all what San Francisco is. I don't care because they lost today. I don't care. You know what San Francisco is. By that time, some of these folks that's injured will be back. Y'all know we struggle against San Francisco. So I had told y'all, ladies and gentlemen, I told you yesterday, I'm going to say it now. I told you yesterday before the game started. I told you that if we lose today, and look bad in doing it, turn up that heat on Mike McCarthy's seat. A lot of y'all say he a lame duck coach anyway. He ain't going to make it to the season. I understand that. I'm taking it to the next level, though. If the Cowboys come out, let me tell you something. Week 7 is the bye week. In order to shut some of this down, the Cowboys need to beat the Giants on the road. I'm going to say that we need to beat the Steelers on the road. And then if we can sneak out a win against the Lions, then I'll shut up. That will make us 4-2. We need to go on a 3-game winning streak. Because if they lose to the Giants, if they some kind of way lose to the Steelers, and then lose to the Lions, or they go 1-2 out of that, I took it to another level. I said, Mike McCarthy may not make it past week 7. Can you imagine the heat on his seat if he goes 1-2 these next 3 games, heading into the bye week, and then come back and play the 49ers? Keep in mind now, they already got another head coach on the staff. That's Mike Zimmer. So the transition wouldn't be so hard. You know what I'm saying? It won't be hard. By this time, this seat will be so hot. It's gonna be hot tomorrow. Y'all don't believe me. Y'all wait till just turn in the night, start watching your favorite shows. But tomorrow, oh my God. Ooh-wee. The seat is hot. I'm just telling y'all. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. So these teams in the first 8 weeks, I told y'all, we'll know what the Cowboys really are when we get to 49ers. After the 49ers, don't get no easier. I just gave you the first 8 weeks. We still got to play the Falcons. We still got to play Houston. We still got to play Philly twice. We still got the Washington Commanders. They're physical because Dan Quinn is there. They're gonna be physical. There's no escape nowhere. The schedule calls for physicality. We got Cincinnati. We got the Panthers. We got the Buccaneers. That's a physical team. This schedule calls for us to be something that we are not, and we haven't been. We're finesse. When it's bully time, we don't bully. And then what's really killing us this year, as crazy as it may sound, everybody wanted Dan Quinn gone. But hey, call it like it is. When Dan Quinn was here, it sure was a whole lot of turnovers, wasn't it? What happens when you don't get the turnovers like we've been getting the last 3-4 years? What happens when Bland and Diggs don't pick balls off? What happens? What happens when the sacks ain't there? We can't sack nobody anyway because we ain't never in position in down and distance to even go after a quarterback. Today I think I may have counted maybe twice when it was 3rd and long. That's about it. Everything else was easy. The Baltimore Ravens, ladies and gentlemen, made us look like we was in a scrimmage game in the first half. Game was just about over then. I will give Dak some credit because he does this type of thing all the time. He wanted to, he gonna fight. One thing about it, he may not win these type of games, but he gonna fight. He fought. I'll give him that. He didn't quit. And the team kind of got with him a little bit. They got it there. But ladies and gentlemen, when you give up 274 yards on the ground, how in the world you gonna win? I'm serious. I told you Derrick Henry was coming. I knew he was gonna wake up. I just didn't think he was gonna wake up like this. I thought Lamar would have 100 yards and Henry may get to 100. I didn't expect him to have what he did. I knew we couldn't stop the run. I just didn't think it was gonna be 274 yards. Good Lord. We thought the Saints did something to us. The Saints had 190, 160. I forgot what it was. Let me look. Just so I can be accurate. They had 190 yards. The Saints did. We gave up 274 today. And I mean, what did they practice on? Good Lord. Gee, did they? What did they practice on? We knew Baltimore was going to run, but God almighty. You went from 190 yards against the Saints to 274. I understand Baltimore was a little desperate. They ain't won the game this year. I get it, but God almighty. I thought we worked on the run this week. That's what happened. That's what we came out with. I thought we ran. I thought we worked on it. Somebody help me out. They had a whole week. See, I'm almost at the point, but I can't do it quite yet. I'm almost at the point. I've already kind of. What I'm saying now ain't no surprise because we've been saying it for years. We can't stop the run. It's just as simple. We've been this way before Mike McCarthy got here. We've been this way. We ain't stopped the run in at least 8 years. We ain't stop no run. So it ain't no surprise. They patched their way trying to get bodies in here, and pop by ain't nobody stopped nothing. Mozzie getting pushed. Mozzie getting pushed out the way. Joseph, Lindale Joseph, he's just a name. Osi was a part of the crew that was getting ran over the last 3 years. I mean, so I have 3-4 years that. And there ain't nobody out there. So for all y'all say we need to get a trade, look, there ain't nobody out there. You just be getting some guy, some practice squad or something like that. There ain't nobody out there worth trading for. I mean, you ain't gonna get it. You got to give up a whole lot to get real run stoppers. That ain't gonna happen. So you can forget that. We won't have a chance to really correct it is until free agency and the draft, and y'all already know how that go. Because the front office is just as predictable as a lot of things is. We ain't spending no money. Y'all know that. No, see, you talking about too much money, not Magic. I just said Hassan Reddick. We ain't finna put another $20 million guy on this defense. Let's get that one out your head. Don't even know. Would a Hassan Reddick help? Yeah, but Cowboys don't do stuff like that, and you know that. So ain't no sense of entertaining fantasy land type scenarios. You gonna have to find your answers inside of the building of what you have right now. That's your only answer. So you gotta look inside, and you gotta say, okay, who can stop the run? Not against these real powerful teams. Nobody. Unless you playing a lesser team that got to have offensive line problems. I know y'all giving credit to the Giants. I don't give the Giants any. I know their defense is better. They were 10th last year, 10th or 11th in the league last year on defense. So I get that, but Dak Prescott has no problem with the NFC East, and that's what I'm leaning on. If we're going to go by the history and say we can't stop the run, then you're going to have to allow me to lean on the history of Dak Prescott tearing a knothole in the NFC East. He knows the Giants. He knows their coordinator. He has no problem with the New York Giants. So that's what I'm going to lean on. Plus the Giants ain't no juggernaut or nothing like that. I'm already on record saying Thursday night, this may be my only Fluffy Campos. Y'all forgive me here, but let me talk to him just real quick, y'all. All right. Fluffy, I've never seen you in my show before, but I appreciate you popping in. Let me just say it like this, and you'll figure it out. And depending on what you say next, then I'll know what to do. I'm 52 years old. And that last little statement, I don't even play about that. I don't care how you spell it. All right? So I don't like that. And if that's how you going to talk, and you very well could be you might very well be a black guy. But if you're not, I really don't care. If you are black or you're not black, I ain't going for all that. That ain't me. So you just stopped my show right there. Let me see. You said something much. You got on my 40. I see you ain't here to play. So what I'm gonna do, appreciate you popping in, brother. God bless you. You have a good night. All right. I don't play that. All right. Done with that. I'm done with that. I don't play that, y'all. That's just me. I'm a little older, so I come from that era. That's never been a good word for me. If y'all understand. I'm too old. Too old. Too old. I just don't do that. Okay, and let me get back. So I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem I don't have a problem with them, saying Dak and the Cowboys gonna win against the Giants. I done seen it too many years. I don't believe in Daniel Jones at all. I don't believe in none of that. But that's coming up tomorrow when I talk about that. But today, we don't do well, ladies and gentlemen, with bully teams. We don't. We don't. We do not play well against bullish teams. We don't make the plays that need to be made against these bully type teams that are physical and try to take your manhood away. We don't do well against them. I haven't seen it for the last, at least, let me just say it like this. In the Mike McCarthy era, I haven't seen it too well. We haven't been on top of teams like that. We always seem to lose a game that they decide to bully us. The Arizona game a couple of years ago. You know they ain't good. But they ran for 215 yards against us. They decided they can't stop the run. We're going to run them down their throat, and we're going to bully them, and we're going to push them around. The San Francisco game last year, where they just totally embarrassed us. The Buffalo game, they totally embarrassed us. Over 200 yards. The Frisco game I'm talking about. Over 200 yards on the run. I mean, come on, y'all. We done seen this. If they jump on us, if teams really jump on us, we don't do well with coming back. And I ain't talking about coming back to make the game look respectable. I'm talking about coming back and winning. We don't do it. We just don't. Mike McCarthy was so scared today, I knew he was scared at open tip-off. Y'all know why? Because the Cowboys won the toss and took the ball. Most teams defer to the second half. Mike McCarthy did not want to put that defense on the field first. I knew he was scared then. I knew it. He was scared. That's why they took the ball. They figured that our weakest unit is our defense. Baltimore's strongest part is their offense. We don't want to start off 7-0. At least we'll get the ball and try to get something on the board. And just something on the board. Speaking of which, I ain't gonna spend a lot of time with this, but right now as we speak, the best thing that's on our team right now is our kicker. He's the MVP of our team right now. He is automatic. That was the bright spot. If you want to call that. Dak played well at the end. I just can't say it was empty calories because they weren't trying to really let them score. They played off, but they didn't want them to score like they were scoring. So Dak did fight. Dak fought because the game was in his hand totally. Which leads to another point, man. Look, see, and let me be. Hey, Coach Bree Love, let me be honest, y'all. Let's be honest. And I got a couple coaches in here. Let's be honest, y'all. We really don't know yet. And I know this is going to sound foreign and strange, but we really don't know what kind of running game we really do have. We really don't know. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we done got blowed out the water. They made us, the last 2 weeks, a one-dimensional team. We ain't finna run the ball when we down by 30 and trying to come back. I mean, that's why Dak threw the ball so much today. That's why we really don't know. Cowboys ran for, I think, 16 carries for 51 yards. And everybody keeps saying, well, they really don't have a running game. Well, when you're down by 25 and every time you get the ball, you got to get a shotgun. I mean, come on now. You ain't about to find out about no running game, right? You know, when you get beat up like this. You're not going to do that. But I will say this about the running game, and this, of course, goes back to when we were talking on the summer. I mean, during the summer. This is where politics get involved. Because if anybody tells me that Rico Dowdle is not better than Ezekiel Elliott at this point, I don't know what y'all talking about. You can tell Zeke is just a bowling ball. His value to the team, as I said in the summer again, is when we get inside the 6-yard line, 5-yard line, that's Zeke territory. But from the 20 to the next 20, man, look, Rico Dowdle is better. He got a little more burst. Y'all saw that. I know. I mean, you're right. I mean, but I'm saying when you're down 25, last thing y'all, we ain't gonna run it. I really don't think. I ain't saying we're a juggernaut in our running game, but when you're down by 30, I mean, come on now, you're passing the rest of the way. That's why Dak Prescott threw the ball 51 times today. 51. Y'all know that ain't what we want with Dak Prescott. It's 51 times. Y'all know that. Y'all know that. So it's the same old movie. The seat of Mike McCarthy is turned up. It's hot like fish grease right now. That's how hot it is. It's turning up for real. And the Cowboys, now, I'm going to say it. You know, the season is not over. We just 1-2. You got plenty of time left. Teams get hot and all that type of stuff. It's going to happen. At some point during this season, the history of Dak Prescott shows that for maybe about a 5-6 game stretch, he really gets hot. That's what it always shows. I don't know where we're going to get into that type of streak this year. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but Dak Prescott is going to happen. Maybe 3-4 games, we will get hot. It's just as simple. But I will say this about Thursday night, about the Giants. Even though we're 1-2, I'm going ahead and say it this week. I didn't say it for this game. But Thursday night, even though it's on the road, it's a must-win game. Because this is a team that I guarantee you, it's going to be interesting to see what Vegas has, the Giants. I mean, what is the line for the Giants against the Cowboys this week? Because, see, I just wouldn't be surprised if they got the Cowboys as the favorite. I don't think they're going to let the Giants be the favorite this week. A 3-point favorite, like it usually is, maybe 2. I just don't see it. I just really believe that they know the history of the Cowboys and Giants, especially now. Dak Prescott against the NFC East. And this team is not really known as a real problem for the Cowboys. No, I'm not saying they're going to be easy, but they're going to have to show me. And I just don't think that we're going to lose. But it's a must-win for the Cowboys Thursday. It's a must-win on a short week. Now, before I leave y'all tonight, before I open up the line, Micah Parsons. Talked about him yesterday. Let me just go on, cut through the field and get here. I see Micah Parsons talking. There's a film, I think ESPN already got it out on their website. Well, DeMarcus Lawrence told Micah Parsons to shut the F up and all that type of stuff. Micah Parsons get on the interview, talks as if he's the leader of the defense, gets on his podcast, talks as if, and he is an all-pro. He is. He's a great player. He is. But as I told you yesterday, his name didn't get called too much today. Told you yesterday, I don't care nothing about him being double teamed. I don't care nothing about him because all his contemporaries in the league now get double teamed all the time too. Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Chad Hutchinson, all these, Crosby from the Raiders. All of these guys get double teamed, and yet they still put up their numbers. Michael Parsons, what was his stat line today? Let me. I'm going somewhere with this. Let me look at his stat line. See, I told you the stars got to be the stars today in games like this. Okay, Michael Parsons had 5 tackles and 1 assist, and most of those because most of those tackles came on the tail end from him chasing Lamar Jackson around after he already gave up, after they already gave up maybe about 8 yards. I think I remember one where he got Henry in the backfield or something. But that's really not impactful. You know what I'm saying? Michael Parsons has to play like an MVP, like he's the defensive player of the year in big games. He hasn't done it. And this is not the first game. And if you ain't really doing nothing and ain't really producing, shut up. You ain't got no business talking to Demarcus Lawrence. See, I know Demarcus Lawrence going to give his all. At this point, he's a little older, and he had five tackles with 3 assists. He did more than you did. Demarcus Lawrence had 3 assists, 5 tackles. Michael Parsons had 5 tackles and 1 assist. He did more than you did. You ain't produced enough to talk. See, that's what the problem is. Somebody need to tell Michael Parsons, and I tell him here, and he may never see it. Sir, you are a great player, Parsons. Somebody tag him. Clip this out, send it to his Twitter. He may never watch it. Who cares? Sir, you got to produce, man. Can't talk to nobody if you ain't producing. You gotta be like TJ Watt. You gotta be like Myles Garrett. And I told everybody else that I'm not giving nobody no more excuses. Everybody else get double teamed. Look, I don't want to hear it no more. TJ Watt get double teamed, still defensive player of the year. Myles Garrett get double teamed, sometimes triple teamed. Still defensive player of the year. I don't want it. When Michael Parsons get double teamed, he's nowhere to be found. That's what the tape say. Ain't what I'm saying. That's what the tape says. You're nowhere to be around. Listen, you can't talk if you ain't producing. Wait, and you think you Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis produced. That's the reason why he could talk like that. That's the reason why our offense listened to Ray Lewis. That's the reason why the defense used to listen to Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis produced. He ain't done nothing. He ain't done nothing. I saw a couple pressures he put on Lamar. I think I remember one. If you ain't doing nothing, you can't talk. It's almost the equivalent of a bench player trying to tell the star on a basketball team what to do and how to do it, and then try to go off. You sitting on the bench, averaging 3 points a game, barely getting any minutes in a game, but then you want to tell the star of the team what he should be doing, want to go off on him, because no, dog, you can't do that. Michael Parsons doing that. All right, and y'all saw it, so it's just the truth. If not, you're gonna hear about this tomorrow too, because everybody already getting the clip out and all that type of stuff. The next person, CeeDee Lamb. For the first time, he done got paid now. So now he got that diva in him that showed up today. He down here on the sideline running his mouth, going off a little bit, call himself doing it. Well, you can't talk either when you dropping the ball, sir. I understand you're an all-pro wide receiver. I understand, CD, you're all pro and you the second highest paid guy in the league, but you can't be dropping balls and then start talking. I don't know. Give me the ball, man. Give me the ball. Well, you got the chance to get the ball. You dropped it twice. And your body language is horrible. You're supposed to be the leader on the team. You can't lead if you got bad body language. What the world is this? What you can't lead and your head down and you frustrated and walking around and mumbling to yourself and talking to coaches and all that type of stuff. You ain't no. Shut up. Shut up. Had a ball that he sent to you, could have had maybe changed the momentum of the game, caught the ball, got it stripped, fumbled the ball right there. No, stop. You can't talk if you can't produce. What you talking about? What are you talking about? And you ain't producing. Huh? No, Fernando. I appreciate you, Fernando. Yeah, I've already said it's early. See, it's something early. It's something not early, but it's something within the losses that you got to dissect because you got to correct the mistakes. Yeah, it's early. We on 1-2, got plenty of games left. But if you don't recognize the obvious stuff that's going on, I ain't talking about the body language. I'm just saying quite simple. I'm saying the same move. You can't stop the run. Yeah, we got to talk about that. And so far, I'm saying the same old movie. So I don't care. I don't know if you can get it out your system, Fernando. I don't know if you can really get it out your system. You can't stop the run. I mean, you just can't stop the run. And you're going against teams that are going to try your manhood. They're trying your manhood, and we ain't answering the bell. So teams going to continue to do the same thing until we consistently get on a nice little roll and stopping it. That's just the truth. So I don't care nothing about getting it out your system and all that. They ain't got it out their system. They can't stop the run. You're gonna have to do something. Teams are the Baltimore Ravens really didn't have a complex game plan. They didn't. They just said we're gonna line up and run over y'all. That was the game plan. I like your question, Fernando. Fernando said, what is it you think, boss? Scheme or personal? I don't know what you personnel. I guess that's what you're saying. If you're saying personnel, then you going back to the front office, and you had to go back to a lot of my shows during the summer when I was saying like, bottom line, you got to put some positions where you need to go ahead and invest into and make the money, because you can't play around and just patch your way through. The defensive tackle position is a position that the Cowboys for years have tried to patch their way through instead of going to get a real dude. And this is why you're seeing what you're seeing. They believe in rotational, but if you got a bunch of guys on a rotation that can't stop it, then you just got a bunch of guys and ain't nobody producing. Nobody. I can't name a defensive tackle on this team who played the 1 or the 3 technique that has produced. Osi ain't done it. Mozzie ain't done it. Lindell Joseph hadn't done it. Phillips hadn't done it. Golston hadn't done it. I mean, I just named 5. There ain't nobody stop nothing. Nobody. We had to go back years and years. So I'm saying that's front office. The coaches just they say, here you go. Here go Lindell Joseph. Here go Phillips. Here you go. Just make it happen. Try to figure it out. That's personnel. That's front office position. As far as scheme goes, you can have all the scheme in the world. You got to have the players. You just got a bunch of bodies in spots. Right now, what you saying, these last couple games, just a bunch of bodies that were getting ran over, pushed aside, everything else. So it's really a mixture of both. But if you want to get to the foundation of it, it's Jerry, Stephen Jones. For that, I'm just talking defense. If you want to go offense, they said they're really saying anybody can be a running back. We don't have to pay a running back. Well, today makes it look real bad because see, Derrick Henry wanted to play in Dallas. Everybody know that. They ain't make the phone call. He moved there. He was waiting. He said it in the interview. Have you heard from the Cowboys? I don't know why I haven't heard from them. I'm here. I'm here in Dallas. Come on now. And you don't think that dude wouldn't have made a difference for the Dallas Cowboys offense? I mean, come on now. See, some things ain't hard to figure out. No, they say we're going to put 3 guys. What Jerry say? Why would we pay for 1 guy in the salary when we can get 3 guys for that 1 salary? And this is what you're getting. Ezekiel Elliott, the reason why they didn't re-sign Ezekiel Elliott when he left to go to New England is because they figured he didn't have the juice no more. Now you going to sit there and tell me you going to bring him back a year later and all of a sudden he got the juice? What kind of sense? I mean, I don't understand. He's a year older. Ezekiel Elliott is a year older. You let him go because you figured you could see the decline. You gonna let him play a year in New England, then he comes back to Dallas, and all of a sudden, I guess you gonna believe me? You gonna try to tell me that he's better? Come on now, it's common sense. You got Dalvin Cook, who you done went out and signed. Y'all just reaching for straw. Dalvin Cook very well make a play. So if he can play, why is he still on the practice squad? You want to shoot some energy in? The reason why, because it's political then. Because if Dalvin Cook come, he taking carries away from who? Now that's your question. Who he taking carries from? If Dalvin Cook come and you believe in this committee approach, okay, then, and please don't say, well, we're going to run the ball like crazy. Mike McCarthy ain't never been a running back guru type offensive coordinator. He's a pass happy guy. So I'm saying again, if we get Dalvin Cook here, who is he taking carries from? We know it ain't Ezekiel Elliott because, see, that's where the politics come in because they got to be loyal to Zeke. We brought Zeke in. We love Zeke. He has to play. Zeke has to play. Okay, so we eliminate that. Then who's your other guy? Is it Rico? It shouldn't be Rico. It shouldn't be Rico, but you got to ask the question. Is it Deuce Vaughn? Maybe we're talking now. So really what you're telling me is then, is that Dalvin Cook, you brought Dalvin Cook to be your 3rd running back? How many carries Deuce had today? What, 2? We all know Zeke ain't the same Zeke. Hot boy, you're absolutely right. I don't know if he's washed. He still has value. I think he has tremendous value in the goal line and in inside the 5-yard line or something like that. I think Zeke could be very effective because that's his wheelhouse now. But why would you bring Dalvin Cook in if he battling to get carries from Deuce Vaughn? And Deuce Vaughn carried the ball maybe 2 or 3 times a game. That's a waste. And then I have to ask this question here. Okay? Then I have to ask this question here. If Dalvin is Dalvin, why hadn't he been activated? I mean, I know he don't know the whole playbook. I get that. He's still just learning it. I get it. But by now, he has to know at least 5 plays, at least 5 or 6. I mean, you ain't giving the ball to Deuce but 3 times. Certainly you can give Dalvin in the game and you run the plays that he knows just to get him involved. I'm trying to figure out why Dalvin hadn't been in uniform. He's still on the practice squad. For what? Somebody gonna lie and say, I ain't talking about here in the chat. I think I heard them kind of push and say, hey, well, he's gonna be used later on. Well, you 1-2. You ain't got time for later on now. You don't have time. You don't have time for waiting later. If you talking about doing something this season, you better go ahead and do it now. Here's another one. Now, if y'all don't want the honesty, then I'm not your guy. Even though William, the name sounds good, William said they need new blood. Florida would have helped stretch the field. Here's the problem, though, William. The Cowboys routes in their passing game are too predictable. What did you see today? I mean, it's too easy. What? Even though I like Turpin, but why is Turpin running slants when he gonna get totally annihilated? Speed and all that. I mean, certainly you can run some different routes. Lamb, number slant routes, and then if you run down the field, he's doing a comeback route. A curl route, 12, 13-yard curl route. This is all we're seeing, y'all. Exactly. Cooks ran a 9 route. We couldn't get separation. Exactly. I'm saying, but what the route concepts in our offense is simple. The best balls that Dak threw today was the Ferguson on the seam route. Now he can do that. I'm saying, but everything else is easy to figure out. These guys are sitting on these routes. So if you bring in Florida, I mean, is Mike McCarthy gonna call the right plays in order to take advantage of his attributes? I mean, we've been begging for that forever. Why? It's just like having Zeke Elliott there, you trying to run a stretch play. Zeke Elliott can't get outside no more. He's slow as Christmas. They tried to do that today. Why in the world Zeke really is regulated now to running up the middle, and he might catch a swing pass, and he can pick up some yards there. I mean, just come on, man. The play calling and all this stuff can be done, but really it wasn't about today, y'all. It really, play calling and all that is number 2 for me. I knew this game was really about number 1. Your manhood is big boy football. If you are a big boy, you can come play today. If you're a little boy and you ain't got no heart and you can't match physicality, you need to keep your little soft tail on the porch. Today called for big boy football. We ain't big boys. I'm just calling it like it is. We not physical enough. We not. I've been trying to tell you, when y'all look, if you don't believe me, y'all go look at the schedule and then compare the 3 games we played, and you look at the schedule and you tell me now after 3 games, even though this is 3 games is a small sample size, you really need 4, because it's kind of used to be 4, but since we got 17 games, I'm still gonna say 4. After the first little quadrant of the season, which is 4 games, you look at what we got, and you tell me as you go down the list what games you really think that you can win. I'm serious. We have a rough time, y'all, with teams that are physical. We don't match up, and we got plenty of them left on this schedule. And if they don't do something, everybody talking about they can't get past when it's January when you need to pay attention to Cowboys. Let me tell y'all something. If they don't get it right, It may not be a January this year. And then I know everybody getting fired then. I'm just telling you. I'm very confident about Thursday, and it's a must-win game in my book. We'll see. All right, y'all. I'm tired of talking. I could talk all day. Remember, tomorrow night, those that are here, I'll be with you guys tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Y'all come on, hang with me. We'll continue this talk, and I'll close the book on this game, and we'll start getting ready for the Giants on Thursday night. It's just that simple. I don't want to give it all away, but tomorrow night I'm going to pretty much sound somewhat repetitive because it's horrible what I just have a problem with the lack of physicality and a play caller that is finesse. And we still are having the same problems that we've had for the last, in some instances on the defensive side, a decade, and then offensively, at least in the Mike McCarthy era, it's the same movie. All right, call-in line is open now, 901-654-6853. I know y'all got plenty to talk about. I'm here for you. We'll talk a little bit tonight, then I'm going to shut it down for the night. Go to bed. These folks get on my nerves. All right. You can call in 901-654-6853. I'm looking at it now. Call in now. And let me load this last thing in. We don't have no more home field advantage. We team look forward to coming to Dallas. They shut our crowd up. It sounds like a library in there. I mean, people come in our stadium and just bum rush us. Seriously, we don't have no home field advantage. People just disrespect us in our home spot. Ain't no crowd noise. It ain't no energy in the building. It ain't nothing. They got loud at the end trying to bring, they needed all that when they were getting their brains kicked in. Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Seriously. It's not even, it is the energy, the crowd and the team match. Personality-wise, you can see the body language of our team. Just horrible. Horrible. I mean, it's like if they go down 7-0, they good. But Lord have mercy, if they go down 14-0, I mean, it's like, pack it up, we're done. I mean, crowd, just shut up. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Call in line open 901-654-6853. Now, I ain't gonna say it's rebuild time quite yet, Santos. It's early, but we have some real problems. And until it gets addressed, football is a emotional, physical game that requires physicality. And there's level to this thing. And if you ain't ready to play,
Cowboy Marlon.
If you ain't ready to play physical,
to accept, press 1.
You're gonna have a problem. All right, I got my brother on here, Marlon Haynes. You got a dance floor. Go ahead.
All right.
What up?
So this is a lot to unpack. First of all, it's not 100% bad.
Go ahead. You talking? Hold on, Marlon. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, there we go. All right. So on Saturday, you said you don't do predictions of games. I picked the Ravens 27-23.
You did.
And I'll tell you why I picked that score. And I'm going to remind you of something that I said. I'm not going to lie and say the game went the way that I thought, but I told you that I thought the Ravens would win, and I thought that the Ravens didn't have enough firepower when they have the ball on offense to get 30 points. Mm-hmm. As it turns out, both of those things wound up being true. The Ravens didn't get 30 points, but I thought that the Cowboys would have a little bit more success moving the football in the first half. But this is something that I realized. Bishop, the problem that the Cowboys have is Tom Brady said it the first game of the season when the Cowboys, well, actually he said it twice. We looked really good against Cleveland, and I think somebody asked him, do you think the Cowboys are a Super Bowl contender? And Tom Brady says, I don't think so. He says, I don't think the Cowboys have as much firepower on offense as what they have had in the past. Y'all remember when he said that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's three things that's significant. Because they don't have as much firepower as they had in the past, we don't have the same 30 to 32 point per game offense that we've had. We just don't. We're a little longer in the tooth in some places. We're not as explosive at running back. Brandon Cooks is a good player, but I think at this stage in his career, Brandon Cooks is more suited to be a 3. I think he's good. He's not a bad 2, but if he were a 3 and you had somebody else that was better as a 2, then I think you would have the firepower. The play where he tried to make the one-handed catch 3 years ago, Brandon Cooks would have simply outrun those people. I don't think he's still 4-3 anymore. He's good, and I'm not saying that this is his fault, but he doesn't have that burst that I used to see that everybody in the NFL was terrified. Now, that's got other consequences. Because we don't have that firepower on offense, our defense isn't as good. The Cowboys' defensive numbers have been good because when you're up 24-7 and 24-10 in the first half, you dictate what the other team can do in terms of their play calling.
Yeah.
If the other team can keep us from blowing the doors off and the Cowboys jumping out in front, take a look at the history over the past 3 years. Look at the Cowboys' record when we don't lead at the half. If we can't get out on you, we usually don't win those games. All right. And I know the Detroit game last year was a little bit of an anomaly, but the best defensive player that the Cowboys have had has been the offense. You take that offense away, all we can do is rush the passer. What we are is we're the dog that chase after you once you start running. And this is what I ask you. But what can we do when you don't run?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? And I want everybody to see what I'm saying. Michael Parsons is the most overrated player in the NFL. Michael Parsons is excellent and dominant, and he's probably the premier pass rusher in the NFL. But, Bishop, that's not complete football. What if you got a game like today or a game like last week where you don't always have an opportunity to rush the passer? If it's 3rd and 2, I watched Michael Parsons, and I was on the phone with a friend of mine, and we watched him play after play, come off the edge. He doesn't take on the tackle. If anybody that knows and has coached football, that 5 technique edge where he needs to be trying to squeeze and make contact with that tackle, and he's not gap down. When you fly up the field on every play, you create big cutback lanes. He's not a sound football player. And then I hear people like Bot say, I wonder what they saw on tape to what makes them think that they can run at our edges. That's what it is. When you run the stretch play, you can cut that thing back. And if you know based on the tape that Michael Parsons is not going to play solid, sound, fundamental football, you can bootleg against us. He doesn't keep contained. Michael Parsons does nothing other than try to get stats to get plays in the backfield. That's not sound, solid football.
Uh-huh.
And because of that, the entire integrity of the defense, Zimmerman is a bad defensive coach. No, he's not. This is not about play calling. I don't think it's about play calling necessarily on either side of the football. We were led to believe that, listen, Tyler Guyton is young, and I trust his athleticism. He got his lunch ate today. They took his lunch money and then they ate it in his face.
Mm-hmm.
They ate his lunch in his face and then burped it.
Yeah.
Tyler Guyton got a long way to go. We can't run the ball. And I think we might have been able to run the ball if you can keep from being down 21-6, 28-6.
Yeah.
But when you're down, so we can't play complimentary football, Bishop. It's
exactly.
like when you can't stop the other team from running the ball, then they can do whatever they want to. They're never behind the chain. Pass rush ain't even a factor. You ain't got no pass rush when it's 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1. When the back is averaging 5.4 yards per carry before contact, it ain't no pass rush.
No.
This game, we needed to be able to line up and be able to play the run, and we couldn't do it. And we couldn't do it last week. And as a matter of fact, I haven't seen us really play good run defense in several years. And I'm going to say this. Other than Parsons being overrated, I'm going to tell you who else is overrated. Will McClay overrated. Will McClay is largely responsible for putting this roster together. We don't have good personnel. This is a personnel issue. It's not play calling. He ain't got nothing you can call. What could Zimmerman call if Mozzie's getting blown off the ball? The 3 technique we got, he's good at rushing the passer, but he's about 275, 280, top dripping wet. He gets blown off the ball. We don't have people that can keep the offensive line from being able to climb to level 2 to get to the linebacker, so the linebackers are blocked. We're just not a sound football team. You can do anything you want to against the Cowboys. And then when you run the ball this effectively, that sets up play action pass, because now the defensive backs are looking in the backfield at the running plays. They need to be focused on the receivers. But when you're getting gouged 10 yards to carry, your safeties are trying to be the primary run stoppers. Now play action is open. You can do anything you want to against this defense, and because of that, the offense is limited. The last thing I'm going to say, and I'll leave you with this. I thought Dak looked sharp today. I did. I think Dak got the ball into some really tight windows where we need another playmaker other than CeeDee Lamb. Ferguson looked good early, but we need somebody that can make explosive plays. We need somebody that can take the top off the defense. We don't have that.
Yeah. All of your points are mixed into this problem, and I ain't going to go against none of them. But I'm still saying the same thing. We're not physical. And when you're playing against a physical bully team, you have to match physicality. We don't match it. And you're going to lose most of those times. You can't beat up a bully with finesse ball. Just can't. And even though they made us finesse, one-dimensional, by the scoreboard being what it was, that took away any chance of physicality. You're not going to beat Baltimore playing just lining up and passing the ball. You're just not going to do it. So I'm not surprised. I appreciate it, Marlon. Let me get to this other caller. All right, Doc. Thank you. That was one of my best friends there, Marlon. I had a call. Yeah, it's telling the truth. I had a call from California, so I don't know who you are, but I'm calling you right now. Let's see who you are. Hey, this big time show, what's going on? You called earlier. Hello? I guess not. That's it. Call-in line is open, 901-654-6853. 901-654-6853. You can call in. We're just talking about the game. We'll start talking about the Giants a little more extensively, just a little bit extensively tomorrow, and we'll continue tomorrow with this game that we had today. Plus, we'll talk about listening to what the post game, we're 1 and 2, y'all. Technically, a lot of football left. But I will say I really do believe the games that you have to win, because the schedule is filled with what I think is the Achilles heel of the Dallas Cowboys. The games that you supposed to win, you better win them. And Thursday night is a game that I consider. Now, the Cowboys are not going to say that, and then some of you are not going to say it either. But I feel like that Thursday night is a must-win game. You need it for the mentality of the team, because, see, if you lose against the Giants, we're in trouble. You think it feel bad now. This team will be really in a bad way. Mentally, that is. A lot of this stuff, we got some players, but like I said, and let me just go ahead and say this now. I don't think the New York Giants will run for no 274 yards Thursday. But what if they run for 150? That's what the Saints did. The Saints only ran for 160. And it seemed like the Saints ran for 250 yards against us. They only ran 160. The Ravens ran for 274 today. Can you imagine if the Giants run for 150 yards against this defense? See, that can't happen. I know we can't stop the run, but look, the Giants do not have no business. They're not that good. No, they're not. They don't have no business running for no 150 yards against us. Now, if that happens this week and we lose, it's really fit to get hot. It really is. I can say that now. I ain't got to say that for tomorrow night. I can go ahead and say that now, because that's where it all gonna start for us next week. I mean, for Thursday, can we stop the run? That's gonna be the question every week. We ain't got to start talking about X's and O's, and can Dak and CD get on the page? Can we get the running game together and all that? No. Can we stop the run? It's the same thing. If we can't stop the run, we're gonna be in trouble. And I'll say this. What Marlon said was true. I think I said that a few shows ago. I agree with him when he said that we're not the same team that that can score 30 points, 32, consistently. We might do that against we did against Cleveland, I get it. But I don't think we're explosive enough. And so maybe we need to change the philosophy, but I don't believe in McCarthy that much. See, if we can't stop nobody, then common sense tells me that you need to keep them on the sideline. The offense is on the sideline. We ain't stopping nobody. You can't get into a track meet, because if your defense can't stop nobody and you can't score like the offense, you don't need to keep them on the field. That's why the running game really does need to be featured. But I don't think that's going to happen because of who the coordinator is. It's just not in him. I think we need to really become a old school football team as far as running the ball. And then we can use the play action pass. We need to line up in a 2 tight end set, sometimes even a 3 tight end set. And then let's just try to pound the football, because we need to be somewhat of a time possession type guy. We can go over the top sometime and get quick strikes, but the Cowboys ain't no 5-6 play offensive team. We're not that. We are going to have to be a 12 to 14 play drive consuming team, get a defense some rest, move the chains, etc., etc. I think we can do that better than trying to be line up a shotgun all day and trying to be a quick strike offense. And I understand we have CD, but teams trying to take CD out. They're trying to take CD out. So now you dependent upon Ferguson and Cooks as of now. we gonna have to slow the game down. In other words, that will keep the score down. That might keep the game somewhat close, or whatever the case may be. But these days, of we're not that team. We're just not. Not to me. So there needs to be I think somebody put it in the chat earlier where they said, what's the identity? We don't know. We don't know what the identity is right now. The identity is on the wrong side of the equation. The identity of this team is you can run them over. You can out-physical them. You can out-punk them. You can get on them quick. They're going to fold up like a tent. That's the identity right now. You can get up high on them now, score a lot of points on them. The game is over. That's what the identity is. You can run on them for sure. If you got a real good running game and a very good running back, you can run up. You can definitely gonna run up over 200 yards against them. Definitely, easy. That's the identity of the team. I don't know what the offensive identity is. Don't know. We got to figure it out quick. All I'm saying is, it's really a continuation of last week's game. Dak did bring us back and all that type of stuff, but really, the way that I'm feeling about it, it was almost a continuation of the Saint game. It definitely in the first half for sure. 4 quarters, it was 6 straight quarters of nothing. That's what it was. They did make a nice little comeback, but the hole was too deep. They better get it together real quick because the Giants, for the first time, are going to have a little bit more fire because they know a down Cowboy team is coming into their building. And that crowd in New York is going to be ready to pounce. Even though we all know Cowboy Nation will be in New York City, usually it's just about half and half. So we'll have our fans there, but usually we give them something to cheer for. I got to see. I said I know what Dak Prescott does against the NFC East as a whole and the New York Giants. I know what he does against them. He destroys them. But you better start off destroying them. Because if you give them any life and they start dancing in your head like, here we go again, we might have some problems. It ain't nobody, Brian. But who you going to get? Who you going to get, Brian? That's what should have happened in what you're talking about should have happened in free agency. There are no more defensive linemen. All the good ones are on teams. And if you want to get them, if they are available, you're going to have to give up something. There are no free agent defensive linemen out there. They're not. It'll be just another body with a possible name that if he's not on somebody's team now, then you're wasting time. There'll just be another body, another part of the rotation. By now, your good players are on teams. They're not giving up guys. The Cowboys don't do that anyway. The only way you got a chance of doing it unless you turn on your PlayStation or your Xbox and you can trade for one of those guys. But Jerry ain't doing that. Nobody ain't going to give up a real good defensive tackle. Nobody's really going to do that. And if you do it, you got to give up a whole lot to get them. The Cowboys are not. They're just not in there. They believe, y'all know what I'm about to say, they believe in our guys. You're right, Brian, and I'll say what you're saying here. There was such a need for it back then. Cowboys were young, the line was young and still good, and they knew that was needed. And then they could go a few years, and you can see the handwriting. And Amari, when it came, Amari changed everything, especially for Dak. But I don't think we're that desperate. Serious. I don't think we're really that desperate. I don't. And it ain't just because of now and the results. It was that way in free agency. The Cowboys been knowing they didn't have anybody that could stop the run. They've been knowing that. They didn't address it. They waited until the season started and go get a Lindell Joseph, a name that's on the, long in the tooth. Not the player that he was, but he's a name. Then you went and got Phillips, a guy that, just out there. And what you did was just get some depth. But we got a lot of depth of guys who are no impact at all. None. So you just got bodies, but you ain't got no impact. I think I said this earlier, Brian. I don't know if you were with me earlier. But when you look at the defensive tackle, when you go down the list, call the names out, none of them. Defensive tackles have made no impact at all. Mozzie Smith, no impact. OC, no impact. Phillips, no impact. He gone to the IR now. They tried to slick way get rid of him. Joseph, no impact. Golston, no impact. I mean, you got 5 defensive tackles right there that they play. No impact with all 5 of them. I mean, nobody. So, I mean, what are we doing? I'm not going to include Kendrick. Kendrick led the team in tackles. They double digits in tackles. Again, he gets his hat in there. You let Kendrick run free, he going to make plays. Kendrick is playing well. I can deal with him. But we just don't have nothing up the middle that can stop anything. They get pushed aside. So these are the guys that you're going with. And if you're trading, I mean, nobody ain't going to give up a good defensive tackle. Nobody. I don't care if they're in their last year of their contract. It's just not going to happen. You might go get a second tier type defensive tackle, which will be an improvement on this team. You might be able to go get that. But if you're talking about making an impactful player, nah, we ain't getting nobody. We're going to have to wait until free agency next year or the draft. And we already know we can eliminate free agency because we know the Cowboys don't spend money. They haven't invested into the defensive tackle position in God knows how long. And I'm talking like a decade. Really. The last best, who was our last best defensive tackle, y'all? Was it Jay Ratliff? Is that it? So, if I say Jay Ratliff, that's a long time. Was that our last best defensive tackle? For real, y'all. We ain't had one. We haven't had one. They have not invested really into the defensive tackle position. And when you don't do that, you have days like today. You have days like last week. Jason Hatcher. Okay. There you go, B-Bird. Thanks for the super chat. I ain't say that earlier, but if you do the super chat on YouTube, you can I'll read your comment immediately. Stop saying what I'm saying. Appreciate that, Big Bird. B-Bird. And that's just true. He said we just got 2 DTs and they ain't making an impact. They just bodies. They just there for rotation. So we supposedly won't get tired. David Irvin was a good one, Roy. I agree with that. He had other issues. David Irvin may be the last. Yeah, David Irvin was real good. He was impactful for sure. So, I mean, but I'm talking years now. We haven't had one. So when you don't invest into an area where you know you're weak at, you become weaker. And that's all what you're seeing. And that's why I say I'm not blaming Zimmer. I'm not blaming Zimmer at all. The scheme works because it worked against Cleveland. See what I'm saying? So the scheme works. I guess then what you're depending on is if the opposing offensive line is not that good. I guess that for them to play, these guys to play well. But it's not the scheme. It's the quality of players that you have within the scheme that will show how good you are. You can have a scheme, a great scheme all day long. But if you ain't got the players that can play it, that's Jerry. Now they'll get up here and like, we're all right. I don't know you're not. But I ain't be the argue there because the Jerry and Steven see something different than what the fan base sees. So I ain't fit to get into that. Hot Boy says, can we close the case on Mozzie yet? You have to be fair with Mozzie, Hot Boy. This is the only reason why I'm saying this. Mozzie, and I know about Mozzie because, remember, I'm a Michigan Wolverine fan. So I saw Mozzie in college. Mozzie was never known as a defensive tackle playmaker. What made Mozzie so good was that he was so much stronger than the guys in Michigan, which was what got him drafted, that he held his space even when he was double teamed. He kept linebackers clean. That was what made him. Now, was that worthy of him being a first-round draft pick? Probably shouldn't have, but we drafted him there. Mozzie, y'all saw it today if you saw it. Mozzie was not only destroyed, he was getting pushed aside. That's what I saw today at least. He played well against Cleveland. So we got to be, the all 22 tape will show you that. He played well against Cleveland. He didn't look good today, and he didn't look good in the same game. But he's never, if you're looking for sacks from him, then on that metric, then no, he's not good. But that he's never been that tight. So I can't really, I think, he's in his second year. When you got defensive tackles, you really can't judge him until his third year. So, I think he's improved already from last year, though. Now, I will say that. Just based off the technique and based off his effort level, I think he's already better than he was last year. Now, y'all may say, well, they ain't saying much. Well, let's kind of hold off if we just going to have an honest assessment of Mozzie. So now, I don't think nobody would agree with me on that, but I think that your expectations for Mozzie may be a little bit, and I understand that he was a first-round draft pick. I understand. With first-round draft pick come first-round expectations, and you need to make an impact. I get that. But in that position, you really don't know what you really have until a little bit later on. At least year 3 for him. That's what everybody always say about defensive tackles, and I believe it's true. So I can't really go off on Mozzie yet. Well, let's put it this way. I don't think you can give up on him. Yeah. Fernando says that I've seen that into game in Philly. In that case, against Saints, they got a ton of talent up front, and Saints couldn't run the ball today big time. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Graham, etc. They got big bodies up. Jalen Carter in Georgia was a playmaking defensive tackle, and he can plug holes up. Jordan Davis definitely was too. Different type, but can do the same thing as far as plugging up. They were playmakers. Mozzie was never known as a playmaker, but he is supposed to kind of eat up space. And I'm not trying to say Maz is better than either one of those guys, because he's not. But they play a different type game. But we ain't never had that, man. We just don't go get guys like that. We just don't. And that's really what we need. That's what the season is calling for, because we got physical teams on here. I mean, you already know what's going to happen. I mean, next week, guarantee you the Giants going to try to run. I don't think they're going to be as successful as everybody else, but that's the weakness of the Cowboys. So you got to try to exploit the weakness. So I believe that's what they're going to try to do that. But when we start talking about the San Franciscos, when we start talking about the Houston Texans, when we talk about the Detroit Lions, who run 2 running backs at you, when we talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, when we talk about the Atlanta Falcons, who playing right now, man, these teams gonna try to kill us running the ball. I ain't got the feeling yet. We already know they're gonna put Saquon on us. I mean, I'm just saying. Washington, you got Robinson Jr., the other running back. You got Cincinnati. I mean, everybody gonna try to do the same thing until we stop it. I'm gonna be saying the same thing, look like every week. So it's not good, man. Listen, I appreciate y'all. I was gonna open up the line again, but that's enough. I ain't gonna keep pouring it down. We had a rough day today. But the season wasting on nobody. Ain't nobody gonna feel sorry for us. Especially all of our haters. You'll hear about that a whole lot tomorrow. Ain't no sense of getting mad at Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp and all the folks, Sean McCoy, and ain't no sense of getting mad. We earned this. We earned this. And we gonna get it. And a lot of the things, if you get past the personalities, you gonna have to admit some of the stuff they're saying is right. You can't stop the run. You can't stop a nosebleed. You're not gonna win too many football games. You can't stop the run. When your defensive linemen are dominating you, and then if you can't move nobody offensively from the offensive line position, you're not gonna win a lot of football games. I might open it up, Fernando, tomorrow. Come on, hang back with me. Listen, for all of you that are watching on whatever, YouTube or Facebook, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I hope you give me that chance. Just come hang with me. We got a little ways to go before the season over with. I'm here definitely every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central, and every Saturday at 3 o'clock Central, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I will be doing a show, in between those times. It's just not one of my regular days. So I might come with on maybe Friday or something in that area, some kind of way. And I might be on shows with a couple other people. And when that happens, that's why you need to join my channel, because and turn on those notifications, because when I do join another show, I broadcast also from my channel, so you won't miss me. So I hope that for those that are not following me, I hope you will give me the opportunity to earn your subscription. Then we can keep rolling. We got a long season ahead. We either gonna cry together and moan and complain together, or we'll at some point we're gonna start getting happy and see if we can make some type of run. Right now we're in full desperation mode. Like, something better turn around real quick. This season is about to get very interesting. Very, very interesting. Seriously. It is what it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of y'all got to go to work. Some of you enjoying the rest of the game. You guys have a good night. I will see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. All right, well, let's go ahead and leave here. Everybody hit that like button for me before you go. Give me about 20 likes. If you're on YouTube, double tap that screen. If you're on Facebook, y'all know what to do. If you do the thumbs up, just smash it. If I ask for 20 likes, it's probably gonna take you about 5-6 seconds if you smash it back to back like that. If you're on YouTube, you double tap your screen, you should see the thumbs up go up like that, or a heart or whatever. And you can do that. Do that for me. Just show your appreciation. It helps me out with putting this show into more faces. Thank you guys for yesterday, especially those that are on YouTube. Man, you wouldn't believe it, man. I was shocked that even you guys are making it happen for me, y'all. I didn't know it, but when I woke up this morning, so you're not gonna get everybody live. Everybody not gonna watch you live, but that doesn't mean that they're not gonna watch you later. And what I saw just last night, I didn't think it was gonna happen. But last night, man, I ended up with over 1,400 views just on YouTube in a matter of a 5-hour span. I don't know what it's like now, but you guys really checked me out last night, so I appreciate that. Hopefully we do well on this, and then we'll figure everything out on tomorrow. Y'all come on back and hang with me tomorrow night, 7 p.m., and we'll finish up with Baltimore, and then we'll start focusing in on the Giants. I will be in rare form. I'm still a little irritated. Y'all come on, hang back with me for the one and the only. This has been the Big Time Show.